Hi there. It's me, Christian. Welcome to another episode of Zero Lives. In fact, this one's episode 48. I skipped a few weeks, but who cares? It's our little secret. We're back on track though. Recording schedule's still going to be a little bit jacked up because I'm working a few different jobs. I got to pay the bills somehow. So once I can figure that out, I'll update and we'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm going to keep making awkward eye contact with this camera because I'm trying out this new angle. And speaking of new angles, it is steak and blowjob day. Did you know that? I knew that. Someone taught me that. I wish they hadn't now. Because I have neither a steak here or in my belly, and there's certainly nothing going on down here. So how do we vent on a fabulous holiday such as this when you can do nothing but think of all the steaks and blowjobs you're not getting? You go on to Destiny. You shoot bad guys in the face. Now, I know I'd said that we were going to finish up Hand of Fate, and we will. But I'm testing out a new streaming setup, and I'm hesitant about competitive multiplayer because there's just a fraction of a second of lag, and that's to be expected because the setup I'm using is we're streaming the Xbox One over to my computer through Windows 10. From there, the rest doesn't matter. The important thing is that we're streaming with the Xbox One and Windows 10. And everything I've done thus far has been single player, and I can tell that it's there. It didn't seem to impact too much with Arkham City. I was able to time the combos and the counters and all that. So I figure, you know what, fuck it, we'll try it and see how it goes. If it doesn't work, then we know for certain. I will say this now, though, because I expect to do shit tonight. I've actually been doing pretty well in Destiny's PvP. I didn't really give two shits about it until the Iron Banner rolled around. I did extremely well in that, a lot better than I thought I would. I was able to hit Exalted Rep within a day, and was damn near always on the top of my team, if not the entire game, as far as KD ratio was concerned in points. So I tried again last night. Everything seemed to be working out well. We'll try again tonight and see how it goes. You know, again, just you and me. This is an intimate space. This is a place where we can be comfortable with one another. And so there's a few things I do want to talk about aside from steak and blowjob day, which it's going to gnaw at me, and because it's gnawing at me, I'm going to annoy the shit out of you with it. So you're not going to see it here in the final video. Maybe you're going to see it in the stream. I doubt it, though. But
Alpha team.
There's jitter, and that's what I'm talking about as far as the lag.
Work together, and you might survive.
Oh, and I've never ever played with the controller or screen this close. Oh, yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work. That wasn't good. Oh, this is bad all around. So, I've been hearing some rumbling about Superman v Batman, and dear God, the lag is terrible. Like, I can't even hear Can't even hear. Network quality problems. Don't give me that shit. Oh, fuck me. I think I need to invest in that Elgato. Let's try it a bit more, he says. Maybe it's just the single player. I mean, maybe it's just the multiplayer because we have so many connections, but I don't know why that fuck with my stream. I'm not a very bright man. And I'm not happy with the performance of this. Yeah, you can see there, my latency is just absolute shit. Not good, guys, not good. Much like the DC cinematic universe. Everybody, nah, I shouldn't say everybody. I'm gonna generalize. People are complaining that Batman v Superman isn't gonna work because they don't have an established universe. It's too early to be adding characters together to have them work with or against one another, and that they need to take the time to establish characters in a concrete universe, much like Marvel did. So like start with Iron Man, go over to Captain America, and then after you've laid the foundation for each character, you can go ahead and start integrating them into collaborative movies. Now, we're going to drop out of this if I can. Because, yeah, my latency is just too bad. It's awful. Makes me very sad. But that answers our question. Our experiments, it's complete. So they need to set up a solid universe where we have finite characters, we have known quantities. Like, they're supposedly working all of this based off of the Man of Steel movie, which I think Scott Snyder directed. And I haven't seen it. I'll admit, I fucking hate Superman with a passion. And the larger point I'm trying to make here, though, is that that's okay. You know, that's fine if that's the way they want to go. And because we don't need a retelling of the origin stories for heroes that have been around since the 30s. It's just, it's ridiculous. We know who Batman is. We know who Superman is. We know what they do. If you look at, like, the DC animated movies, they work just fine, and we're gonna quit Destiny here. I wanted to play it. I really did. But just that jitter. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll do Hand of Fate. So with the animated movies, if you're following the comics, they're very heavily based on the New 52 content, which is all well and good, but you don't need to know that at all, because the New 52 is essentially an origin story. It rebooted everything, but because you already know the characters, even if you don't know some all that well, like, you know, Green Arrow or Black Canary, you can enjoy the movies and you can pick up what it is they're trying to tell you, because that's part of a movie. You know, not every movie we go see has an established universe and characters. Do they spend all the movie establishing it? No. They don't have to, because that movie is the medium. It allows them to tell that story and to introduce these characters.
It's been some time since you last sat at the table. Let us begin again.
And
Let
this
us
guy
approach
is
the mother of plagues.
talking over me because he's an asshole. Lower it down just a hair more. So,
Queen of the vermin. Under the ground, the filthy rat kind court her favor, murder each other with leprous teeth for the honor of siring her children.
the point I'm getting at, and not elaborating all that well because I'm letting myself get distracted, is that
complete your run. Banish your curses with caution while facing the queen.
we can jump into a DC cinematic universe without having to establish shit, like characters or motivations, because we know who the characters are. If we don't know them intimately, say, I don't know who the fuck to, you know, who doesn't know who Wonder Woman is? Everybody knows who she is.
You know you risk the true and final death at this table, as I risked my life in ages past.
Be it through the comics or through Linda Carter's run in the 70s. We know who she is.
Take your feelings and turn them into power. As pleases you. Another curse on the table. Let us see how you deal with it.
What makes me leery about the movie, though, is DC hasn't, aside from the Dark Knight trilogy, hasn't proved themselves capable of making a really engaging movie. Everything I've heard
Very
now,
nice
granted, this is a lot of hearsay. I've not seen the movies myself. It's all about they've not gotten good reviews, you know, be it from critics or from folks that have seen it. It's all kind of meh at best.
Spirits roaming the darkness. With the struggles, the boundaries are weaker than they've ever been.
Now, I love a good story about Batman fighting Superman.
There has never been a hero whose end has not been thus. I'm sure you are grateful for that.
Currently, I'm reading the Injustice series, where we have Batman essentially against Superman. Spoilers, Joker tricks Superman into killing a pregnant Lois Lane and in turn blowing up all of Metropolis.
Soon the game will end.
Superman goes off into a
It
tizzy.
will be done. Unlike other opponents,
Kurt's Gambler.
I will remember you fondly. I prefer not to play at chance. I only contend
Nope.
with the most serious of games.
I always lose when gambling. Apparently I lose even when I don't gamble here.
Don't you find it interesting to consider that you're sitting at my table to play our game, recalling sitting at a table,
Fuck me.
playing another game? Circles and cycles without end.
But it's a good story. Superman versus Batman. You know, brains versus brawn. It's essentially Zeus versus Hades, or Jupiter versus Pluto.
quest that may lead you down many paths towards jealously guarded secrets.
It's good, competent storytelling. Which is why Batman v Superman should work. But again, it's all up to how they make the movie. Scott Snyder, I like his visual stylings. You know, he's a good director, but I guess proof's gonna be in the pudding. But I'm super hesitant. You take a look at like 300 was great, Watchmen was good. Actually, I probably prefer Watchmen over 300. But then you have movies like Sucker Punch and Man of Steel, which kind of didn't do all that well. Now, Sucker Punch had a great visual style, but I don't remember how to play this game. And assume it's Arkham Knight controls. So, I think DC definitely has the potential to do it. I've seen them do it with the animated films.
The pendulum can swing both
But
ways.
the animated films aren't produced for a wide audience.
With only 3 food,
They're going to be for the
finish
more
this quickly, or hunger will finish it for you.
enthusiastic folks out there. So, I don't know. Just it's like what we saw with Deadpool, where they didn't hold back. They didn't pull any punches, and it was very successful because of that. Now, I'm not to confuse that with, you know, having gratuitous sex scenes or violence in a movie will make it better. No. It's all about the tone of the movie and the character itself. That wouldn't fly with Batman, Superman. Superman would be like a hard PG at most. Batman's definitely PG-13. You could probably squeeze him into R territory depending on the villains. You know, if you did something like Scarecrow, yeah, you could easily make an R-rated Batman movie. But Batman v Superman versus Superman v is, God, I say it, but it irks me. It is, PG-13 feels right for it. Just because you have Superman, you know, helming up half of it.
What brings you to play the game? Ha, I know you will not tell me. Like all the rest, you are silent.
Well, I want this guy, so he's gonna give me the others.
6 little ratmen
Because the
fleeing from
devil's
the
a
night.
bastard. If you are going to start getting into the comics, though, since DC has rebooted everything again, probably in anticipation of Batman versus Superman, for new readers or folks trying to get into it, this isn't a new series, but one definitely worth checking out is The Injustice. It was the one I had talked about earlier. If you head over to hellocomic.com, you can actually read the comics for free now. I will say you want to have a competent ad blocker on your browser, because that site is riddled with ads, some of them malicious, but if you have an ad blocker, you don't really have to worry about it. But what it'll let you do is essentially read any comic out there for free. Now that being said, if you aren't a poor destitute schlub like me, go ahead and buy the comics. sucks. But conversely, for older series, especially if something's hard to find, it's a viable alternative. Ooh, damn it. Still having trouble carrying on a conversation and actually playing the game.
My piece takes yours, and the battle is ended. Try again.
Mr. Lionel's the Goblin King?
Things here are tainted. You can now access endless
Guys, I don't know.
if you wish to test your skills against chance itself.
Oh, it was difficult, but we got kind of fucked over.
Queen of Plague, terror of mankind. You will not be the one to bury her.
I don't know. Is there anything else that we got that we can stream that will probably work? I wonder if we turn down our video. See, this is where we we're gonna try it again. We scaled down the video resolution, which before your panties get into a bunch, unclench, release, let the juices flow, let the spice flow. It's not going to affect the quality of the video because the one little square that you see for the gameplay is essentially 720. Everything else is going to be the full 1080. So we're going to turn my volume again so I can hear a little bit. The only thing it does affect is that on my monitor here, that does go to the 1080, so the 720 scaling gets a little wonky. But yeah, Injustice, the comic series, I guess, the game, which was released by NetherRealm Studios and WB, is the actual main story. The comic is a prequel of sorts. It tells everything in the 5 years running up to the game itself. So the game was released on PS3 and Xbox 360, and I like Mortal Kombat. I loved it when I was a kid, but now, it doesn't really do anything for me. And Injustice is using the same mechanics and system. Now, I did play DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat, and it was okay, but it was more of that meh. The setup isn't working, guys. I thought it would, but it's not. Kinda sucks. So what we're gonna do, I know it's gonna break your hearts. It really is. It hurts my heart too. Actually, that's probably the poor health that I keep myself in. That's what hurts my heart, as well as countless heartbreak and tragedy. We're just gonna stream straight from the Xbox, because if we're not slinging it over to the computer, there's not as much work for the router to do. So, yeah, give me 2 seconds. We're gonna get everything set back.